Decisive Campaigns Ardennes Offensive is the fourth wargame in the Decisive Campaigns series. This new chapter features new rules, designed to fit its lower scale. The rules combine traditional gameplay with the tactical dimension of the new title. Many of the new rules affect how recon works. Mastering recon and being able to use it at your advantage is more important than ever. Ardennes Offensive is the first title of the series to introduce line of sight. Hills, towns, and forest will partially or fully block your line of sight. The line of sight system is incredibly deep, and it has the ability to slightly bend around obstacles. This simulates that, at this scale, recon is gathered as well by small groups of reconnaissance troops moving slightly outside of the hex, as well as enemy troops not always sticking to their exact hex. Distance, weather, daytime, height, and hide points all affect the effectiveness of recon. Last but not least, the more recon points you have on an enemy unit, the more you will know about it. The worst recon state is not being aware of an enemy unit at all, and blundering straight into an ambush or heavy intercept fire. There are three things you do while micromanaging your troops. You can transfer them from one unit to the other, scrap equipment, or form Kampfgruppen and battle groups. Kampfgruppen for Germans and battle groups for Americans are a new feature, and they allow you to create new improvised units on the fly. These units are slightly less organized and suffer some penalties, but they allow you to, for example, split up a detachment to hold a village while continuing forward. Ardennes Offensive introduces height levels. A difference in height level, especially off-road, costs your troops more action points, causing delays. Each troop type has a height cost modifier, which can be modded. Height affects not only how far your units can go, but also line of sight. In Ardennes Offensive, there are changes to how hex ownership works. Now there is a difference between assumed hex ownership and real hex ownership. The only hexes you can be 100% sure of are assured ownership hexes that have either victory points, friendly units, or cities on them. In other cases, you can't be sure who owns the hex. You can expect enemy troops to infiltrate your lines without you noticing. You presume who is owning a hex based on the recon you have on enemy units. When your units move, the enemy might intercept fire. And when the enemy moves, your units might intercept fire. Intercept fire helps smooth over the design artifacts of a I go, you go turn system. And it also provides excitement, helping the defensive side to get more historical results and gives plenty of tactical opportunities. For anyone who's looking for yet more elements of surprise, Ardennes Offensive introduces optional, new uncertainty rules to simulate that some units might be inherently better than others, or that some might have excellent cadres but be under a dark spell, or the inverse. Uncertainty rules make the outcomes of the battles much harder to predict, but at the same time, they can challenge your abilities in very unexpected ways. You'll be entirely able to completely switch them off if you prefer, to avoid any game of luck.
Is this working now? Is this working now? Yes? Maybe not? Maybe? Sound of silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yes, yes. It's a good way because at the end of the streams, we usually count the number of chatters and people interacting in the chat. So it's a nice way for having everyone say, works, doesn't work, doesn't work. No, I was saying that the more I see Decisive Campaigns, Ardennes Offensive, the more I think the system has so much potential. It could do anything, and as close up to specific scenarios, it's just incredible what you could do with it. So it's really exciting, and it's coming very soon on the 18th of November. So stay tuned for that. And right, so. Hello, everyone. It's a big week. We have it's a big week for different reasons. First of all, I finally, after 2 years and a half, finally managed to go to our headquarters up in Epsom. Just back, I was really excited to go there, meet the people, and it was just amazing that we could still travel and see our friends and co-workers up in the UK. That's been amazing. Of course, today it's a big day, of course, because it's earnings day basically for all the big companies. So we've got a lot of news. So to save you a lot of time and effort in going and digging out all the information, I've got a few curiosity facts for you to share as well. Of course, today is the 4th of November. It's not a national, it is a national holiday in Italy. We don't actually have days off because we are having too many days off, as someone in Epsom would say, but it's still, you know, a national holiday for us. We are celebrating the National Unity and Armed Forces Day. 4th of November, it's when we signed the armistice in World War I, so that was 1918. So we started celebrating this day in 1919. So one of the oldest national days we've got, and so, you know, we're still here for you, still having a chat at tea time and celebrating our national days as well. And so also, you know, a bit of Italian history as well. Yours is on the 11th, yes, Mordante. I think that's like across the whole of Europe. We're the only ones to celebrate the end of World War I on the 4th of November. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a bit of information about our local history, and you know, it's also interesting for you guys, I hope. So I was saying I was going to give you some, you know, just fancy news about the market because it's earnings day today. So lots of companies announced fancy numbers and cool things so that their market share price could go up a little bit. Of course, today Sega announced that Total War Warhammer 3 will release on February 17th. So I'm giving you thanks for following us, Wiesel France. I'm just saying you February 17th for Total War Warhammer 3 because so that you know that no Slitherine game will release on February 17th. That's for sure. It's a date, and of course, you know, they've announced lots of other cool things. It's going to be coming, you know, on Game Pass on day one. So lots of interesting stuff to look out for in February, and there's going to be stuff from us as well, which of course I'm going to tell you more about later during the year. Total War could make turn-based games. We could make a Total War turn-based game. That could be a good idea. Why not? But I don't think it's going to happen. Right, so other things in the market that happened. Devolver Digital today went live on the stock exchange, on the London Stock Exchange. You might not think this is interesting, but personally, I think Devolver Digital is one of the best publishers out there. They're doing a great job, and I want to give them a lot of praise for what they do marketing-wise. They are absolutely fantastic. So I've got a lot of respect for what they do. Also, other fun facts, Nintendo today announced that they've sold over 92 million consoles, Switch consoles. Out of these, Mario Kart and Animal Crossing are two games that surpassed 35 million copies sold. So one every three Switch console has a Mario Kart or an Animal Crossing or both installed. That's interesting numbers, considering that you know, it's like an attach rate of 30%, over 30%. Also, other things I find interesting. EA announced their earnings today. Cool stuff about their numbers. I've taken from their huge presentation. 62% of their sales are digital, and 70% of their revenue is coming from live services. Only 30% is coming from full game releases. That's also very, very interesting stuff for the market as well. And Take-Two announced that they've sold 355 million copies of GTA games. That's a number, right? I think it's 20 years of GTA these days. So 355 million copies of a game, of a game series, 62 million of Red Dead Redemption series, and 72 million of Borderlands series. I find these numbers amazing. It's like, you know, imagine selling 350 million something. It's just incredible, just incredible numbers. So I just like to sort of share this stuff because it's also interesting to see, you know, put things in perspective and you know, understand you know, where we are in the world. That's also very cool. Also, I wanted to say, you know, because we don't have, you know, because everyone announces stuff today, we don't have huge announcements to make. Although there is a little bit of an announcement for you, only for the watchers of this, towards the end of the stream. We're going to tell you a little strict secret, not officially, I would say, but a little secret for you only. You know, feel free to ask questions. So we just spent some time in the chat to talk about stuff that you want to want answers for. For Warhammer, I want to see 40k Armageddon. Can you go up a bit? 40k Armageddon with Panzer Corps 2 graphics. Hands, not gonna happen. Not likely to happen at all. Not in the plans, at least. What are WeGo games under development now? I found WeGo system games to be much more exciting to play in comparison to classic Argo Yugo. We have WeGo World War II Stalingrad, which is a pretty hardcore war game that's in development. We've got announced. I don't think we've got anything else announced in WeGo. Well, I guess Common Mission, and there's more unannounced. WeGo is very interesting, but it's very hard to communicate. It's very hard to explain what a WeGo game is to non-WeGo players. So it's like it's hard to explain the concept of WeGo. So it's definitely something we're aware of, but we need to sell 350 million Field of Glory 2s. I wish. 1 million would be good enough. Field of Glory Medieval Empires, Byron, not yet. Star Wars, wishful, maybe, who knows, don't know. When will be Pacific DLC for Panzer Corps 2? Q1 next year, don't know when exactly, but Q1 next year. You had the WeGo Air game, yeah, in development. I was mentioning there's kind of there's a lot of stuff in WeGo. There's Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. There's the Check Your Six game. There's quite a lot of WeGo. I mean, all the Age stuff is WeGo as well. So it's definitely something that we have in mind. Southern Storm is WeGo, of course. Captain Darwin. Of course, where's my brain gone? 70% live services, those loot boxes bring in good money. Yes, Tortuga, they do. Not only loot boxes, but it's definitely something that's interesting to note, that only 30% of games are of revenues are coming from full games, that's for sure. Combat Mission Cold War still on for November 16 release. Crypt Drug, yes. Still on for November 16th. We'll look at the release schedule a little bit later, but yes. Any chance of you guys doing some weird war conflict 47 that bridge the gap between your historical and sci-fi fans? There's quite a lot of what if things being published in our catalog. It's always kind of hard because it's the what ifs are always hard to sell, but it's usually bits of historical games that flow into what if scenarios. Of course, any Cold War game there's a lot of what if there. That's definitely an interesting take on, there's a lot of World War II Sea Lion, there's a lot of, Cold War stuff. So that there are games that have that, but it's more like an extension of an existing World War II game or historical based games, definitely. Have you considered any game like Battle Brothers or War of War Tales? I love that game concept. Yes, Byron. It's definitely a game genre that works very well. Battle Brothers and that genre is probably lighter than the average game we do, but it's definitely a game genre that works very well. Starship Troopers is definitely an RTS. Medieval DLC, Mordante, you'll have more medieval DLCs for sure. Strategic Command, the successor soon. Shokoloco 7, we have Strategic Command stuff in the making, that's for sure. Fury Software is pretty busy right now. They've got multiple projects in the making, so definitely something we're looking at. Strangely, I always thought that what ifs are more interesting than real life scenarios. Well, it depends. I mean, you're talking to a wargaming community, and wargaming community is usually more into historical stuff. But there's definitely an area of the market that's interested in what if scenarios for sure. Also, I just wanted to just fire away questions in the meantime. I'll try and answer everything you fire at me. Did I miss anything? No, really don't think so. There's a new, wish you could get the guys at Panther Games on board Slitherine. It seems that development of their Command Ops 2 have stalled. It's so great war games. We absolutely love Panther Games series. We love Command Ops, and we think it's a great war game. So we're sorry it's not part of our catalog for sure. Yeah. Can you guys make games like Theater of War RTS? Chillstream, no, sorry, that was Insane 3. RTSs are a beast that we treat with care. We do most of the stuff we do is turn-based. RTS stuff we've got in the making is Starship Troopers. We've got Broken Arrow in the making as well. There's stuff that we haven't announced that is an RTS, but it's a completely different genre and market. So sometimes we're sort of very cautious in touching the genre itself. It's definitely a different type of product to create. How is Steel Tigers coming along? Steel Tigers is right now is on hold. Gamer 2x3 guys are still working on the core stuff on War in the East. We are working to release War in the East on Steam, and we'll pick up Steel Tigers in 2022 and then update you guys. But it's not definitely not gonna happen next year. Any new battle sector content coming anytime soon? Yes, Hexaboo. What did you change your nickname? Hexaboo's a scummer. Oh gosh. Burden of Command is also an awesome idea. Maybe you could reach out to them. Well, we can't own and distribute and publish all the war games. I think it's good that there is some competition, and we're actually glad that people like Microprose and so on are sort of back and reviving the market, because we look at every single war game that's announced and released. And sometimes we don't have the luxury of publishing them, but we've got so much stuff that it's not easy to keep up with everything. Richard Quadriga, Frozen Synapse 3, yeah, all good ideas. I think that some of these ideas, I mean, most of these ideas, we have them in our weekly, monthly meetings. Why don't we do one of this, and this? It's always hard to find the resources to do everything we want, but so we want to try and make a good mix of stuff that we never done before. Continuing existing series, and also making sure that we innovate a little bit in genre or types of games that we've done in the past. An estimate on the release window for Distant Worlds 2. Well, right now it's Q1. And as I said before, sometimes we are looking at what competition is doing, announcing dates and so on, so we can target the right dates for releasing our game. So for instance, as I said, Total War Warhammer 3 releasing 17th of February. We know that that week will not release anything. Thinks the Burden Colony is almost reaching Vaporware status. There are cobwebs on my wish list. Van Bishop, it's still in the making. We know a lot of people that are actually contributing to making Burden of Command, and it's still happening. It's just slow burn because most of these games are done in spare times and so on. So you don't have an actual release date. Let's set up a way to fund new models for FOG 2 titles. A bunch of us have been requesting this in the forums. Mordante, new models. Yeah, let's shout out on what you would like to see, and we'll see what can be done. For sure, that's not impossible to reach. Other things I want to note: Decisive Campaigns. Distant Worlds 2 has a new dev diary being published. Francesco is probably gonna push this in the chat to link you to this Distant Worlds 2 new dev diary. We're looking into economics and how that works. And Cornac 2, thinking about Field of Glory, Medieval Empires, thinking about that and more, yeah. And so I also wanted to share some more news about the event we've got coming along. This is for December 14th. It's a Tuesday, I think. We're going next week to check out the location and everything. So I will update you on my Twitter with pictures of the location before it gets dressed up for the event. That might be an interesting insight. What are we going to do in this event? So it's the winter edition of the event we've made in May. So 4 hours of live stream. And we are going to break things into three. So there's going to be a part dedicated to existing projects that you know about and are already announced and revealed, but we're going to tell you more about these games. Noting that Starship Troopers, Distant Worlds, Panzer Corps 2, Pacific, and more will be having in-depth look into. There will be a different mix of gameplay, insights, stuff that you might be interested in. What we're trying to do is again, create an event that would, if you had the 4 hours, ideally, if you had the 4 hours available, you watch it all, and everything is super interesting to everyone. So we're really looking into every bit of content to make it super relevant. Marco in a suit again, yes, of course, Hexabu, I will be, but I don't think I'm going to be the main focus. But it's definitely an event we're looking forward to. The other bit of the event will be about new game announcements, so stuff you don't know about. As I said many times, we have multiple games in development that we haven't announced yet. So we're going to announce 3 new games that you don't know anything about, and we'll give you a little bit details in that regard. And then we'll have some reveal of gameplay of stuff that you know about. So Stargate will have a reveal of gameplay. Broken Arrow will have a reveal of gameplay, and more. We'll tell you more about that, because what I think is what we should do is, there's a month, about 5 weeks left before the event. What we'll do is, every week we'll tell you a bit more about the event, so that you sort of come prepared to that. I think that's the best thing to do. Chess simulation. What is a chess simulation? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want a chess simulation. Will there be a DLCs? Yes, DLCs. Last week were 4 new games, or 4 new games. There's 3+1, I would say. there's one we don't really treat as an announcement. There's a little bit of a, it's going to be like a teasing thing, and you'll be running the exercise of knowing what it's all about. And okay, I think we've got a little bit left, so I'm going to look at the release schedule very quickly. It didn't change from last week, so you don't have many big news. Everything has been confirmed from what it was. So show us the hexes. Full screen. Full screen. That's me in the corner. That's me in the corner. That's me. Okay, Order of Battle, Allies Resurgent, really coming on Xbox and PlayStation November 11th. Engage, I have to say, you're right. Decisive Campaigns, Ardennes Offensive coming on the 18th of November, and Combat Mission Cold War coming on November 16th. War Nice 2 coming to Steam on December 9th. It's already been released, but it's coming to Steam on December 9th. The release of Warhammer 40k Battle Sector on Xbox and PlayStation is now 99.4% confirmed for the end of this year. And we have also added, as I said, HoW Live Winter Edition on December 14th. After that, game release confirmed for Q1 next year. We have Campaign Series Vietnam in January. Distant Worlds 2 is definitely coming in Q1. Everything else is a bit of a mess, but all that you see in the schedule is definitely going to come in 2022. So this is what we know. Now I'm going to tell you a little secret. Something that's not in the release schedule, because we don't know exactly when it's releasing, before the end of the year for sure. Somebody's been asking in the chat. We've got a new Gladius DLC coming. It's coming in the next few weeks. We don't know exactly when. Going through the last bits of preparing the release, but the new Gladius. See if you can spot what it's about from the screenshots. Aha. Engage. Aha. Come on, give them full screen screenshots. That's pretty cool. War Chickens! Captain Darwin got it right. So I don't see, first one to win. Can we give a coupon, a $10 coupon to ZG's, to that guy there? Give them a $10 coupon. He's got it right. So Adeptus Mechanicus coming to Gladius very soon. So we don't have to wait a long time. It's this is going to be a 2021 release, and you don't have to wait. I don't think you'll have to wait until the end of November. So it's something that's coming very soon. Nice key art there. I'm gonna leave it there. Actually, leave it full screen and give me a list of streams to finish this episode on a super nice note. That's great. Don't worry. I know that you can't do 5 things at the same time. Bruno only has 5 arms. Hey. So today we have XTRG after this, playing Armored Brigade. Actually playing at 6 p.m. After him at 8 p.m. we've got Exibu playing Battle Sector. We have on tomorrow we have Das Tactic playing Fog Medieval at 6 p.m. and XTRG playing War Nice 2 at 8 p.m. Saturday, Kushan is back at 6 p.m. with Command Modern Operations, and Sergeant Z-Dog is playing ICBM at 8. Remember, these are all UK times, and remember also that this week UK moved the clocks, and not the US. So it's that week of the year where we are all over the place, and where I get every single meeting time wrong. That's why I know, and I'm very aware of that. Guys, it's been a pleasure seeing you today. I hope that I answered some of your questions, not all of them, but some of your questions, and gave enough relevance to everyone's doubts. And I will see you next week with of course, approaching big releases. Release of, we've got a lot of stuff coming along on the 16th and 18th, and then there's this Thanksgiving stuff and so on. So stay tuned for next week. We'll tell you more about the event of the 14th of December, and I will see you next week on Thursday.